So for your next set of notes, you're going to be working out of the new notebook, the Unit 2, Ratios, Proportions, and Percents notebook. So we just finished the first one, we're on to the second one, and the first page is going to be a factor chart. So most students, we find, don't always know their math facts, and factors are the numbers that can be multiplied to make a number. And most students are not totally familiar with their math facts. So we put this in here for this reason, because this next unit, we're going to be doing a lot of fractions, we're going to be doing ratios and rates, and you're going to have to reduce those or simplify those fractions, and knowing your factors is going to be important for that. So we put this factor chart in here to kind of give you a resource to reduce fractions. So this first page we're going to work on is actually page 2-3 in the notebook, is reducing, simplifying fractions. So that means you're going to find the biggest common factor for each part of the fraction, the numerator and the denominator, and then you're going to divide top and bottom by that and simplify. So simplifying fractions is really the same thing as reducing, right? And you want the greatest common factor, right? That's what we're looking for, greatest common factor of both numbers in the fraction. So let's look at our first problem that we have. We have 30 over 54. So we need to look at 30 and 54 in our factor chart. So let's go to the first page. I'll highlight, there's 30, and then there is 54 down here. And I have to find the largest factor. So 30 has 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. 54 has 1 times 54, 2 times 27, 3 times 18, 6 times 9. I have to find the common factor they both have, the biggest one. They both have 1, they both have 2, they both have 3, but they both have 6. And 6 appears to be the largest factor that they both have in common, so their greatest common factor. So I am going to go back to that page, and I am going to take the numerator and divide it by 6, and the denominator and divide it by 6. And notice when I do that, I'm really just dividing the whole thing by 1. That's why this fraction is equivalent, because I really just divided it by 1 when you really break it down. But the numerator is going to be 30 divided by 6 is 5. The denominator is going to be 54 divided by 6, which is 9. And my simplified or reduced fraction is going to be 5 over 9. So that's how you're going to do each of these problems. So if we look at number 2, I have 9 and 15. Most people probably know that 9 and 15 both have a common factor of 3. Is it the biggest common factor? We can go back and check. So we're looking for 9 and 15. So I'm going to clear this page, and then I'm going to go back to my highlighter, 9, 15, and when I look, 1, 15, 3, 5, 1, 9, 3, 3, it looks like 3 is the largest factor for both. So I'm going to go back to my other problem, and I am going to divide the top by 3, the bottom by 3, and I'm going to get 3 over 5 for that reduced simplified fraction. So this is a skill that you really need to know how to do for using ratios, rates, fractions, things like that. So we are going to practice this so that you are good at this, so that when you have to do it for as a skill for dealing with ratios and rates, it won't be something that you don't know what to do with. So when I look at number 3, 30 divided by 36, I'm going to go back to my paper, I'm going to clear my page, and I have 30 here, 36 here. And when I look at these numbers, they both have 1, 2, 3, and then they both have 6, and I think 6 is it. I think 6 is the biggest, greatest common factor. So I'm going to go back to this original page, and you guys, for your work, are going to show this, that you're dividing the top and bottom by the same number, and you're going to get 5 over 6. Okay, guys, so I don't want to just see the simplified fractions on these notes. I want to see that you are, what you're dividing the top and the bottom by. You may know your math facts and be able to do this without the factor chart. And if that's the case, then you're welcome to do that, but you need to make sure that you are showing what you're dividing top and bottom by. So 24 and 30. Let's go to the next. 24 and 30. I'm actually going to clear my page first. And if I look at my factors, they both have 1, 2, 3. They both have 6. And it looks like 6 might be the biggest one. So I'm going to go back to my page. And I am going to divide top and bottom by 6, which is really like dividing by 1, and I'm going to get 4 over 5. So that's a simplified fraction for that. So for the rest of this page, what you're going to do is you are going to look at your two numbers, you're going to figure out the greatest common factor from the factor chart, and then you're going to show what you're dividing top and bottom by, and then you're going to show your simplified fraction. So that's the expectation for the rest of this page, and good luck.